All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Market Wrap with Arjit Garg. Today, market looked very weak once again, like yesterday. Global pressure, crude oil above $110, and rupee hitting fresh lifetime lows on continuous basis now. But despite all this negativity, FIIs and DIIs have stepped in, and today, once again, we saw a very strong recovery. To discuss more about this, we have a SEBI-registered research analyst, Arjit. Thank you so much for joining us, and let's get started with a quick overview.
Thank you so much for having me, Pradhaman, and let's quickly dive into what's going on with the market. So, as you said very well, a weak session, but I won't say that it was a very bad session. So, we started with a gap down and we ended on Nifty, we ended on the immediate support level of 23,500. That got breached intraday and then we closed at the immediate resistance at 23,684. Yesterday, when we were doing the market wrap up, I was quite sure that कुछ ना कुछ तो नेगेटिव होने वाला है and at the end also we ended it on the note that something negative is going to happen tomorrow and we already I had given a put the recommendation on the Zdvisor application. Targets were hit, but yeah, so although the market saw a gap down, we opened at the immediate support. Strength was seen throughout the day, and the same strength we can see in the broader market as well. So if you just look at the broader market indices over here, you look at mid cap, small cap, Nifty 200, 500, all of these key indices, which are the broader market indices, these show the strength in the market. Although small cap was down a bit, about of 0.15% down, but if you look at the other broader market in the indices, the strength was there, right? Similarly, if you look at the indices over here, it was like a mixed trade today. IT was not doing very well today. We saw that on Monday, the IT Monday, Tuesday, IT was quite among the top gaining sectors, but today IT was cooling off, right, with a loss of 0.42%. On the other hand, auto was rallying, oil and gas, metals, healthcare, PSU bank, all of these were the top gaining sectors for the day. Nifty once again ended with gains of 0.17% at 23,659, and Sensex closed with gains of 0.16% at 75,318.
Perfect, perfect. Let's also look at a few sectors today that helped the market recover.
Sure. So, among all of these sectors, there was one sector which caught my attention, and I'm sure a lot of retail investors might have missed that sector. So, that sector is power sector. So, if I have to show you a couple of stocks from power sectors, before that, a quick wrap of the stocks that we discussed yesterday. OFSS, we marked the level of 9998 as a target, and we were very close to hitting that target today on OFSS, right? So power sector was quite interesting because there was one news in power sector. So news was the highest consumption, power consumption that India has seen in its history. We were on the record level today. If I'm not wrong, it was 260 gigawatt of power consumption that India saw so far, which is a record. Day before yesterday also there was a record of 257 gigawatts, but today it was even more higher than the previous one at 260 gigawatts. Now, some of the top stocks that are enjoying this news. First one is Siemens. Now, Siemens Energy again, it's an energy stock, power consumption, and right now it's at 3705. And you can see that the rally is coming in Siemens right now. If this rally continues, this gap over here that we saw on 7th and 8th of 9th of May, this gap might be covered. So that's one stock. Again, levels are marked 3797. This level should come in the upcoming week. So Siemens is one stock. Another stock is Hitachi Energy. Another power sector energy stock. Again, it's showing good momentum, 35,700. Now, this stock has been rallying from, I guess, if we look at the previous charts at around April, 24,600, 22,260 was the level on 1st and 2nd of May. And from there, the stock is up to 35,700, over 40% returns in just a month. So Hitachi Power, again, another stock which is again, enjoying the benefits of this entire news from power sector. So power sector is that one stock that most of the retailers might have missed, and again, it's a sector in focus for the day. Deepika.
Got it. No, since the very start, we have been focusing only on the Nifty, Sensex, Bank Nifty. So today, why don't we look at the mid cap and the small cap Nifty index as well?
Sure. So let's look at the mid cap select index. Give me a moment. Let me load the chart here. Mid cap select index over here. Right. So if you look at mid cap select Nifty, an interesting pattern is being formed here, which is also called as the rising wedge pattern, wherein पहले एक ट्राइंगल ऊपर बनेगा, फिर ऊपर एक और ट्राइंगल बनेगा, then another triangle and another triangle. This is called a rising wedge pattern. Now there are multiple names for this pattern. I like to call it rising wedge. Somebody else would like to call it the rising triangle. There are multiple names for the pattern. The important part to note here is that it's a higher high and higher low pattern. Now, अब इसका मतलब क्या होता है? Higher high, higher low, very complicated stuff. It means that there is a positive momentum in mid cap select index. You look at the previous moment here on 6th of May, mid cap select index was near its all time high at 14,500. This should be very positive. Of course, it is positive. If mid cap select index is at all time high, and if we are seeing that a positive rally is coming in mid cap select index, which means majority of your mid cap stocks will outperform the market. Now, for this, there are multiple analysis that we can do. If I start talking about it, this live will become very long. But to sum it up, if you just compare Nifty along with mid cap select index, so Nifty में what you are seeing here on around same time जब mid cap select Nifty का all time high बना था, उस time पे Nifty was around 24,300, which is its ideal level. ऐसा नहीं है कि बहुत ऊपर है, ऐसा नहीं है कि बहुत नीचे है, ideal level पे 24,300 पे सॉलिड फॉल आया, सॉलिड फॉल के बाद अब साइडवेज मूवमेंट में, सो योर ब्रॉडर मार्केट इज इन अ साइडवेज कंसोलिडेशन. एंड इसमें भी अगर आप देखो तो इसमें भी डिसेंडिंग ट्रायंगल बन रहा है, जिसमें कि पूरा जो पीपल आल्सो कॉल इट एज वीसीपी पैटर्न, यहाँ पे कॉन्ट्रैक्शन पैटर्न बन रहा है. अगर आप अच्छे से देखो तो यहाँ पे कॉन्ट्रैक्शन पैटर्न ही बन रहा है. सो इफ आई कैन जस्ट ड्रॉ अ कपल ऑफ ट्रेंड लाइंस हियर टू शो यू दैट. तो ये ऊपर से रेजिस्टेंस आ रहा है, ये नीचे से सपोर्ट आ रहा है यहाँ से, एंड यहाँ पे कॉन्ट्रैक्शन फॉर्म हो जाएगा. वंस दिस कॉन्ट्रैक्शन इज फॉर्म, या तो मार्केट ऊपर फटेगा या तो मार्केट नीचे फटेगा. किस डायरेक्शन में फटेगा दैट विल डिपेंड ऑन व्हाट इज द न्यूज एट दैट पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. राइट नाउ तो हमें क्या लगता है, भाई मार्केट ऊपर जाएगा, ये रेंज में कंसोलिडेट होता रहेगा. राइट नाउ इफ यू कंपेयर दिस मूवमेंट विद मिड कैप सेलेक्ट निफ्टी, मिड कैप सेलेक्ट इंडेक्स हम लोग खोलते हैं, उससे हम लोग कंपेयर करेंगे. बिल्कुल एकदम एक तरीके से कह सकते हैं उल्टा मूवमेंट है. जहां पे निफ्टी आपका साइडवेज कंसोलिडेट कर रहा है, कॉन्ट्रैक्शन पैटर्न बन रहा है, यहाँ पे राइजिंग पैटर्न बन रहा है, विच इज अ बुलिश पैटर्न, विच मीन्स मिड कैप सेलेक्ट इंडेक्स इज ऑल सेट टू आउट परफॉर्म योर निफ्टी 50 ब्रॉडर मार्केट बेंचमार्क इंडेक्स. अब यही चीज लेट्स क्विकली लुक एट स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स एज वेल. So if I can just load the small cap 100, let's load the small cap 100. Small cap 100 also amazing rally so far in the month of April. मई में आया, वापस से हाई बनाया, हाई बना के अच्छा खासा टूट गया. If you compare small cap with Nifty, now before comparing let's see पैटर्न कौन सा बन रहा है. पैटर्न है, कोई पैटर्न नहीं है, सीधी सी बात है भाई, यहाँ पे अच्छी खासी रैली आई एंड अब इसी रेंज में यहाँ पे कंसोलिडेट कर रहा है. निफ्टी 50 में कंसोलिडेशन बन रहा है. कंसोलिडेशन मतलब यहाँ पे एक अच्छा खासा कॉन्ट्रैक्शन पैटर्न बन रहा है. एंड इफ यू जस्ट कंपेयर दिस विद स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स वंस अगेन, क्या यहाँ पे कॉन्ट्रैक्शन बन रहा है? कॉन्ट्रैक्शन नहीं बन रहा है. क्या यहाँ पे बुलिश पैटर्न है? यहाँ पे हायर हाई हायर लो है? नॉट नथिंग बुलिश हियर. इट्स जस्ट दैट स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स इज साइडवेज. सो दिस टेल्स यू कि अगर आपको फोकस करना है ऑन सम थीम राइट नाउ इन द मार्केट, focus on the mid cap theme. Don't focus much on the small cap. Let's look at the large cap also now that we are talking about all of these stocks. So let's talk about the large cap index as well, which is Nifty large cap. So just a second. Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about the Nifty large mid index. Here also, this is a mix of large and mid cap companies all across Nifty 50. So 250 companies जो है इसके अंदर आपकी listed है. If you look at the pattern over here, same pattern similar to mid cap Nifty, because of course mid cap select का भी there are a couple of stocks here. तो positive momentum है यहाँ पे, लेकिन once again it's sideways. It's not a contraction pattern, it's not a bullish pattern, it's just pure consolidation. So आपको अगर focus करना है, if you want to buy some stocks from a particular segment of the market, focus on the mid cap theme and you'll start outperforming the Nifty 50 index.
Got it. No, yesterday also we were discussing about the geopolitical factors, global cues, and and you told us yesterday that if the crude oil is going above $110, it's quite dangerous. And currently today the crude oil is above $110. What is your overview on the same?
So again, if you look at the pattern over here, now if this was forming on a very higher time frame, this would usually be a rounding top pattern. Okay, rounding top is a reversal pattern which shows it's a bearish reversal. So bullish trend चल रहा होता है, वो जब reverse होता है, तो reverse होकर जब नीचे गिरना चालू करता है, means when the bearish movement is starting, this pattern tells you about it. So this is a classic rounding top pattern. So technically, so based on the movement that is already happening, all of these past candles, you can clearly see that 110, 109 पे एक strong support आपका बनता है. 109.5 अपन level mark कर लेते हैं जो आज का लो है. 109.5 is a strong support. If that support is broken, then we have another level which is 100 USD. Again, that is also placed below. अब उसके बीच में अगर लेना है तो आप एक ले लो 105 is level that maybe you can consider quite like as a support, but 105 is not that strong. 109 108 वाली रेंज अगर एक बार टूट गई क्रूड ऑयल पे तो आप सीधे सीधे 100 यानी 100 यूएस डॉलर पे आ जाओगे. राइट नाउ our market is slightly positive despite expensive crude because FII ने पिछले 3 दिन से बाइंग करी थी. कल सेलिंग करी बट पिछले 3 दिन से FII ने बाइंग करी थी. हमारे डोमेस्टिक इंस्टीट्यूशन दे आर कॉन्स्टेंटली बाइंग एवरी डे 11,000 12,000 10,000 हर रोज दे आर बाइंग. Now DIs are buying, combine that with FII buying, combine that with the strength that broader market indices are showing you, and that is the reason why we have the positive momentum in Nifty 50. Crude is expensive. Also, another factor that affects the entire market, not just the Indian market, but also a lot of other markets, is if you look at the USD INR pair over here. Yesterday, when we were talking about USD INR, उस time पे 96.3, 96.6 के आसपास था. Yesterday night, it spiked up to 96.81. That is when I put up an update on the Zdvisor app that tomorrow markets will remain under pressure because all of your global markets were red, US market was red, Europe, US, Asia, all of these markets were red. Today morning, Japan, Korea, all of them were at least 1 to 1.5% down. Combine that with your USD INR pair, which is right now at 96.96, that is today's high. This is acting as a very negative trigger for our market. इसीलिए मार्केट बढ़ा हमारा. गैप डाउन हुआ, गैप डाउन से बढ़ा लेकिन रेजिस्टेंस पे आके अटक गया. If all of these global sentiments were in our favor and if everything was positive, we might have seen 23,800, 23,850 on Nifty today. क्यों नहीं हुआ? Because आपके जो broader market sentiments हैं, all of the crude, the USD INR, if you look at the global markets over here, just have a look at how the Nasdaq and S&P are doing. ठीक है, Dow Jones future है, future 0.24% ऊपर है, but S&P is in red, Nasdaq is in red, European markets are flat. Okay, French and German market are positive today, but yesterday they were in red. All of your Asian peers, all of them are in red. So all of these global sentiments are taking a toll on the rally in the Indian market. But the positive part is FIs were buying, DIs are buying right now, and all of the broader market indices are finally showing some strength, which means the retail investor is strong now. So maybe I'm not saying that this is the right time, but maybe this is the right time to start looking at the right stocks and start your SIP in the good potential stocks. So stocks with good fundamentals, stock that are now finally reversing technically, and maybe you've been tracking them from a very long time, and now you find them at a very healthy valuation. This is the time to start your SIP in those stocks. People them.
Great, great. Actually, when it comes to global cues, Arjit is one of the smartest people and our top expert on the application. So I've dropped the link of the application in the description below. Connect directly with him related to any of the global cues and the details. Moving on, let's look at the stocks to watch out for today.
Sure. So we've already talked about the power stocks. A couple of other stocks based on since we already have the Q4 results which are running on right now for Q4. So a couple of more stocks from the fundamental part. So I number one stock that I have is BPCL, which is Bharat Petroleum. I know a lot of you are kind of worried about all of these OMC companies because पेट्रोल का रेट पहले 3 रुपए बढ़ा था लास्ट वीक, उसके बाद डे बिफोर यस्टरडे और 1 रुपए बढ़ गया था. आई नो यू गाइज आर क्वाइट वरीड, बट the results are showing that their margins are squeezed but not very squeezed. And on top of it, the best part about BPCL result was the management commentary. So the board of management is very confident that the current situation which we are going through, the crude oil, expensive crude that is coming in, and the petrol rate volatility in the rates that we are seeing, this will have minimal impact on the balance sheet for the upcoming financial year. So that is a big positive for BPCL coming in. IOC results have already decoded it last time. BPCL results bach rahe the. Today results were out, and you see the stock in a very positive momentum. Right now is not the time to buy OMCs because of the entire volatile situation that we are going through. So avoid karo right now. If you have the stock in your holding and if it's in profit, the recommendation would be to book profits here, not to buy any fresh positions in BPCL right now. Right. So this is stock number one. The second stock is Mankind Pharma. Now, Mankind Pharma has been my all-time favorite from pharmaceutical companies, apart from MCure. MCure though was among the recommendations. Target one is hit there already. Let me quickly load MCure just to show you guys. Right. So MCure Target 1 and Target 2, both of them have been hit there. We talked about MCure on 11th of May in the market wrap-up session. So if you guys are new to this video, just go to the Zdvisor Advisors channel, scroll down to 11th May's market wrap-up, and you'll see why we've recommended MCure Pharmaceuticals. Coming back to our stock, Mankind Pharma is another pharmaceutical stock, which is my favorite. The reason behind this being the favorite is it's a pharmaceutical stock, but the kind of valuations on which it trades right now, you look at the P numbers, look at the P price to book value, look at the other fundamental ratios, ये स्टॉक एफएमसीजी वैल्यूएशंस पे ट्रेड करता है, बट इट इज अ फार्मास्यूटिकल कंपनी एंड द मैनेजमेंट इज वेरी पॉजिटिव अबाउट इट. लुक एट द प्रोडक्ट्स दैट मैनकाइंड फार्मास्यूटिकल मैन्युफैक्चर्स अपार्ट फ्रॉम द मेडिसिन्स के अलावा देयर आर लॉट ऑफ things which should be a part of FMCG, but a pharma company is manufacturing it. So that is why I consider Mankind more of a FMCG company rather than pharmaceutical company. Results are absolutely fantastic, strong results, and the valuations are also corrected now. You look at the previous rally in the month of April, awesome rally. Stock has rallied from 1,900 to almost 2,500, more than 45-50% rally over here. From now, from this particular level, if you have to watch out for a couple of levels for Mankind Pharma would be 2649 and 2733. Now, these are some numbers जो मतलब see, you know that 70% of orders on National Stock Exchange are put in by algorithms. So algorithm जो है 2670 को लेगा, वो round numbers लेते हैं 2670, 2750, 2700. So as a human, if you're trading in the markets every day, it is important for you to keep in mind कि algorithm तो round number पे आएगा. So you have to keep your positions accordingly कि आपके order ऐसा होना चाहिए राउंड नंबर पे ना हो. अदरवाइज एल्गोरिदम आएगा, एल्गोरिदम इज ऑब्वियसली फास्टर देन अ ह्यूमन. तो आपसे जल्दी, आपसे फटाफट से आपका ऑर्डर लेके एंड आपका ऑर्डर एग्जीक्यूट नहीं होगा, प्राइस विल टच दैट लेवल एंड इट विल कम बैक डाउन. So that is why such abrupt levels I am giving here 2649 and 2733. And if you have to maintain a stop loss, maintain a 1:1 ratio stop loss over here at 2490. So exact, if you look out for target 2 and stop loss, it's exactly a 1.1:1 ratio. So Mankind Pharma, BPCL, these are the two stocks, the stocks with good results. Now let's talk about one more stock which had a very bad result. So you look at PI Industries. So this is a stock with horrible results. Margins to khair bhul jao. The company has been reporting negative revenues. The revenue growth is negative. That has impacted its operating profits, its net profit, bottom line is also affected, and the entire fundamental ratios are affected by it. So PI Industries, horrible stock, horrible company. And you can see a gap down and again further negativity over here. If somebody has this in their portfolio, try to sell it if you have the courage to do it. I know you're in a loss. Profit में हो तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. Book your profits right now. But if you're in a loss, just look out for this important level of 2850. Below that level, I think you should enter more like a short position in PI Industries. I believe PI Industries trades in futures and options also. So derivative market ka, it's a part of derivative market, so you can take a short position over there. Target 2850, which is an immediate support for PI Industries. So these are the three stocks that I like to discuss, apart from the power stocks that we've already discussed. Vipratham.
Got it, got it. Now let's move to the options and positioning section.
Right. So the option data or OI part that we like to call it in the live video today. So the current strike price is 23,700. We are looking at Nifty's option data analysis over here. 23,700 is the current strike price. Now, right now at this current strike price, the call OI is higher, which means more people are willing to sell their call options rather than people who are selling their rather than people who are selling their put options. This indicates a very simple thing that यहाँ से market will stay under pressure. So यहाँ से ऊपर जाना मतलब get increasing your pressure as an index, and यहाँ से नीचे जाना is quite easy. So यहाँ से there is a probability that market might go down till 23,500, and 23,500 से support लेके then वहाँ से market वापस से ऊपर जा सकता है. Or the other way, if something positive comes across. Right now we barely have any positive triggers for the market. Global markets are negative. Crude, USD INR. USD INR is the biggest trigger. We talked about it yesterday as well, and I'm trying to focus on it today as well. Even if your market is positive and your USD INR pair is not doing good, it's negative, weakening every day. Internationally, if you compare it with any other markets, you're still losing money. And this is the precise reason why FIs are exiting India. FIs Indian नहीं होते, FIs foreign institutes होते हैं. US के, यूरोप के बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज होते हैं, इनके पास बहुत पैसे होते हैं. They come in our market and they come with their money, dollars, and they invest those dollars in our market. Now, अगर रुपी की वैल्यू अगेंस्ट डॉलर इज बिकमिंग चीपर एंड चीपर, मतलब रुपी इज इंक्रीजिंग इट्स वैल्यू 96, 97, 98 सब बढ़ता ही जाएगा अगर, which we call it as rupee weakening. If rupee keeps on weakening against USD, FII को जो भी रिटर्न आ रहा है, ठीक है, निफ्टी अगर आपका 23 से 25,000 भी अगर चला जाए, बट आपका रूपी वीकन हो गया, देयर नेट रिटर्न इज ऑलमोस्ट जीरो. उन्होंने जितना पैसा कमाया रूपी वीकनिंग की वजह से, एट द एंड ऑफ द डे दे आर विड्रॉइंग द सेम अमाउंट. So that is one key concern why FIs are not interested in our country. Now coming back to option chain, so अगर globally कोई positive trigger आ जाता है, तो our markets will rally up till 23,800 and 23,900. Again, the levels that we've already marked on our chart. यहाँ से अगर selling आती है तो नीचे में will come back to our support level which is at 23,500, 23,600. So these two are important ranges. I'll just quickly open the Nifty chart and show that to you again. Important range is very simple: 800, 23,800, 23,850, and on the lower end you have 23,500, 23,600. I'll mark 23,600 over here as well. So 23,500 is an important level on the downside. Let's mark just one level, otherwise the chart will become too complicated to understand. So 23,500 support, important support. 23,800 to 850, important resistance. Verified by option data analysis. We have marked the levels on the charts already, and option data is showing us the same trend over here. People.
Perfect, perfect. Great session once again, Arjit. Thank you so much. Let's reconnect tomorrow at 4:30 p.m.
Definitely. Thank you so much.